Wild Talents by Charles Hoyfort, Chapter 20b. A neighbor had pigeons, and the pigeons loafed on my windowsill. They were tempted to come in, but for weeks, stretched necks, fearing to enter. I wished they would come in. I went 4 blocks to get them sunflower seeds. Though I will go thousands of miles for data, it is most unusual for me to go 4 blocks. It's 8 blocks, counting both ways, for anybody. One time I found 3 of them who had flown through an open window and were upon the frame of a closed window. I went to them slowly, so as not to alarm them. It seems that I am of the romantic disposition, and if I take a liking to anybody who seems female, like almost all birds, I want her to perch on my finger. So I put out a finger. But all 3 birds tried to fly through the glass. They could not learn by rebuffs, but kept on trying to escape through the glass. If, back in the coop, these pigeons could have told their story, it would have been that they were perched somewhere, when suddenly the air hardened. Everything in front was as clearly visible as before, but the air had suddenly turned impenetrable. Most likely the other pigeons would have said, "Oh, go tell that to the sparrows." There is a moral in this, and it applies to a great deal in this book, which is upon the realization of wishes. I had wished for pigeons. I got them. After the investigation by the 3 pioneers, all of them came in. There were 9 of them. It was the unusually warm summer of 1931, and the windows had to be kept open. Pigeons on the backs of chairs. They came upon the table and inspected what I had for dinner. Other times they spent on the rug in stately groups and processions, except every now and then, when they were not so dignified. I could not shoo them out, because I had invited them. Finally, I did get screens. But it takes weeks to be so intelligent. So the moral is in the observation that, if you wish for something, you had better look out, because you may be so unfortunate as to get it. It is better to be humble and contented with almost nothing, because there's no knowing what something may do to you. Much is said of the cruelty of nature. But, when a man is denied his heart's desire, that is mercy. But I am suspicious of all this wisdom, because it makes for humility and contentment. These thoughts are community thoughts, and tend to suppress the individual. They are corollaries of mechanistic philosophy, and I represent revolt against mechanistic philosophy, not as applying to a great deal, but as absolute. Nevertheless, by the occult, or the supernatural, I do not mean that I think that it is altogether exemplified by the experience of the pigeons. In our existence of lawlessness, I conceive of 2 magics. One is representing a known law, and the other as expressing lawlessness, or that a man may fall from a roof and alight unharmed because of anti-gravitational law, and that another man may fall from a roof and alight unharmed as an expression of the exceptional, of the defiance of gravitation, of universal inconsistency, of defiance of everything.